Our next speaker, Kim Lang. Oh, those memorable firsts and lasts. Oh, those memorable firsts and lasts. Kim Lang.
Oh, those memorable firsts and lasts. Our lives are filled with them. How many of you remember your very first kiss? Thank you, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. I remember my first kiss. It was disgusting. We were inexperienced teenagers. He had a giant mouth full of metal. He glommed onto me like some sort of mutated suckerfish. By the time I pried myself free, I knew that would be the last time I kissed that boy. A memorable first for sure. One of my most memorable lasts was the last time I went sledding. My son was a Boy Scout. One of the local farmers invited the scouts and their families to his farm to go sledding. We packed up the car and we took off. It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining. We'd had freezing rain the night before, so all of the trees and all of the grasses in the fields were shimmering in the sunlight. When we got to the farm, we parked along the gravel road. The kids grabbed their nice, cushy snow tubes and took off. My husband and I grabbed our sleds. Nothing more than molded sheets of plastic, and followed behind. As we came up out of the ditch, we were welcomed by rows and rows of corn stalks, standing proud and shining brightly, like soldiers protecting the soil until spring. As we made our way up the side of the hill, I looked out over the sledding area. It was pristine, untouched, all of its icy glory glistening in the sunlight. Don't you think at some point during the drive down or my walk up the hill where I fell 5 times, some sort of a bell or whistle or blaring siren would have gone off in my brain? One that said, Kim, you are about to slide down an ice-covered hill on a thin sheet of plastic. Nope, not one. When I got to the top of the hill, the scouts had a contest going already. Who could slide the farthest without falling off their sled? I watched a few of them go down, and it was hilarious. They were flying down that hill. They'd hit a bump and pop out of their snow tube like toast out of a toaster. Sled went one way, kid went the other way, and continued to slide down the icy hill on their snow pants. Not one. Finally, it was my turn. Could I sit demurely on my sled like all of the other scout mothers? No, I could not. I had to take a running start. I had to go head first like Frosty the Snowman, giving Karen a ride to the North Pole. I finally heard the bells and whistles. It was too late. I was picking up speed fast. My cheeks were flapping. My eyes were watering. I know if I could have levitated outside of my body and looked down at myself, I would have looked like a meteor crashing through Earth's atmosphere. A ball of flame encircling my head. I wasn't outside of my body. I was in my body. On a thin plastic sheet of death. Careening toward the cornstalk soldiers. I desperately tried to cram my toe through the crust of the ice, but it was no use. I did the only thing I could do. I ducked my head, and I plowed through those cornstalks like a bowling ball through bowling pins. They were snapping off and flying over my head. I left cornstalk carnage in my wake. And it still didn't stop. The ditch loomed right in front of me. I went down one side and up the other, and I was airborne. Not for long. Gravity welcomed me back to Earth. Hard. As I lay there, trying to catch the wind that had been knocked out of me, I knew I wasn't dead because I hurt bad. And I said a little prayer. God, please don't let a car come by. When I could finally breathe, I peeled myself off that road, and I turned around to a whole hill full of Boy Scouts clapping and cheering me on. Look at how far she went. Woo! I did the only thing I could do, what any professional would do. I took a bow. As I scooped up my sled and hobbled back to the car, I knew two things had happened that day. Number one, I did win that distance contest. Two, I had most definitely gone sledding for the very last time.